In today's video, I am going to explain muscle anatomy that attach around ASIS. This part is ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine. This is most anterior part of ilium. Then this is bony prominent. This is very important to palpate pelvic position. You have seen that, right? So when ASIS goes inferior, most likely pelvis goes anterior tilt. If ASIS is more superior, tendency is it goes to posterior tilt, right? So knowing anatomy around ASIS is very, very important. There are basically two kinds of muscles attaching around ASIS. One, hip muscles. Two, core muscles, abdominal muscles. I'm gonna explain two hip muscles plus one additional hip muscle first. Alright, main two muscles. One muscle is very thin, long muscle. That is called sartorius. Sartorius originates from here, then it goes to knee joint. It's very long and thin muscle. One more muscle, next muscle is around here. It's on lateral anterior part of pelvis. This is tensor fascia lata. Okay, this muscle is on lateral part and anterior part. Tensor fascia lata attaches to ASIS. So two muscles, sartorius and tensor fascia lata. They attach to ASIS. Alright, next muscle doesn't attach to ASIS, but it's very close enough. That muscle is rectus femoris. That is part of quadriceps. Actually, rectus femoris attaches to AIIS, anterior inferior iliac spine. It doesn't attach to ASIS, but it's very close enough. It's like 2 fingers away, or maybe 2 or 3 fingers away. I believe tightness of rectus femoris affects for pelvic movement a lot. In that case, that indirectly affects around ASIS. Fair enough, right? Rectus femoris does not attach to ASIS. Okay, you have to be aware of that. So 3 muscles I explained so far. Sartorius, tensor fascia lata, they attach to ASIS. Rectus femoris, it does not attach to ASIS, however, it's close enough. Alright, these are 3 muscles for hip joint. Then I'm gonna explain 3 muscles for abdominal muscles. Basically 3 abdominal muscles. Outermost layer is external oblique. Okay, it covers whole surface of ilium. Well, basically kind of part of whole surface of ilium. One deeper layer from external oblique, that is internal oblique, that also covers contour of pelvis, ilium, right? They attach to ASIS. The deepest layer of abdominal muscle is transverse abdominis, that also attaches to ASIS. So basically, hip muscles and abdominal muscles attach to ASIS. What is problem? What matters with that? So basically, when anterior hip muscles, 3 muscles I explained today, when they get tight, tendency is that inhibits hip movement, particularly for hip extension. You cannot go to extension when these muscles get tight, right? Same time, when these muscles get tight, it's also hard to go to flexion. It sounds it's very contradiction, but this is my clinical experience. When this part gets tight, people complain tightness stuck around anterior hip. That's very, very common. Extension, flexion, both can be tight. Now, what about abdominal muscles? Since they attach to pelvis, that inhibits pelvic movement, right? That sounds very important. Abdominal muscles move pelvis. Thus, tightness around here inhibits pelvic movement and abdominal movement. Oh, one more thing. Because today's hip muscles attach to pelvis, ASIS, when these guys get tight, they bring pelvis to anterior tilt. Thus, it's hard to go to posterior tilt. See, ASIS is tiny, bony, prominent, yet knowing anatomy around here is very, very important for both hip and pelvic movement, pelvic biomechanics. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. See you next video.